Welcome back, Kambo Warrior. This is John for Planet Kambo. In today's video, I'm going to talk about fasting. So fasting is something that I've been doing for quite a long time. And in this video, I'm just going to give you a brief overview of how I fast. And then I'm going to make a subsequent video where I'll go into a bit more detail of how fasting works and what's actually happening in the body when you fast. So I've been doing intermittent fasting for many years. Doing away with the old eating 3, 4, 5 meals a day, all of that kind of thing. What I found is actually you can eat 1 or 2 meals a day, eat all your calories or all your food in one big meal, and you don't notice any difference really. Your body will still digest it in the same way. It's just more convenient and you haven't got to worry about cooking and eating all the time. So when I first got into intermittent fasting, I went from doing 4 meals a day down to 2 meals a day. So I would just have, I'd skip breakfast and I'd have lunch and dinner. Did that for a long time, and then after that I got into doing what's called OMAD, which stands for 1 meal a day. And then what I would do is I would just fast all day and I'd have this really big dinner, and that was very convenient. And actually I really like doing that, because when you fast all day, not only are you more productive when you're fasting, but actually you really look forward to that evening meal, and it really builds up an appreciation of food and not taking it for granted. When we're in a fed state and we're eating all the time, you start to take food for granted. Do a 24-hour or longer fast and you'll see you really start to appreciate food. What I've been doing more recently over the last couple of months is I've been getting into some longer, more intense fasting. So I've been doing 48-hour fasts, 72-hour fasts, and I've done some longer 5, and I did a 5.5-day fast. The benefits of fasting right off the bat, the main one, you lose weight. I mean, it's a really, really easy way to lose weight. If you feel like you want to drop a few pounds, it's much easier than dieting. Dieting would be where you reduce your calories by a certain amount, or your food intake by a certain amount every day. And then over time, you would slowly lose weight. When you fast, you drop a lot of food energy very, very quickly. So if you fast for 3 days, you've just dropped 3 days worth of food energy or calories in 3 days, as opposed to doing it when you're dieting. It could take you weeks to drop that amount of calories. So fasting is a very quick and natural way to lose weight. Human beings are designed for long periods of fasting. We have a mechanism inside of us that is for survival. So body fat is stored energy. That's literally what it is. It's survival food for when we're in times of famine. So all you're doing essentially when you're fasting is you're simulating a famine, and your body will start to burn its body fat for energy. Obviously, if you're very lean, you can't do long fasts. I'm getting quite lean now. So doing 5-day fast becomes quite difficult, because the leaner you get, obviously, your body starts to think that you're actually starving, even though obviously you're not, but it starts to think that, so the fasts get more and more difficult. But if you're carrying a lot of body fat, fasting for a week, once you get over the initial maybe the first fast that you do, it's really not that difficult to do, and actually it's easier. You're just not hungry. When you're fasting, hunger goes out the window. Once you get into a state called ketosis, which I will go into in more detail in the next video. Once you're into ketosis, you are not hungry. Your body is literally turning your body fat into energy, and it feels really good. You get what's called the faster's high. So when you're fasting, you feel great. It feels really, really good not to be digesting food all the time. So my current routine is I do 48-hour fasts. So I eat a really big meal, and then I fast for 48 hours, and I feel great. I feel really, really good. I sleep better. I've got loads of energy. I've got loads of mental clarity. So this feels like a more natural way for a human being to eat. Now, I'm not saying you have to do what I'm doing. This is just the way I feel about it. Doing a 48-hour fast or minimum of a 24-hour fast where I just eat 1 meal a day. So eat 1 meal a day or 1 meal every 2 days and fast the rest of the time. That is really convenient, and for me, I feel really, really good doing that. So essentially, you digest all your food and then you're having a break. You're giving your body a break from digesting food, and it feels really good to be empty some of the time. We spend all of our lives in this fed state, well, most of us do anyway, those people that don't fast. We spend all of our lives literally digest food. The moment it's digested, you eat more, digest that food, eat more. And when you get into fasting, you're able to go for long periods of time without eating. And when you've digested all your food and you're empty, your body gets a chance to do some housekeeping, which it doesn't get to do when you're eating all the time. So one of the main differences I've noticed is my sleep has improved a lot. I used to like to fast all day and then eat a really big dinner. Or when I was doing 2 meals a day, I'd eat lunch and dinner. And I'd really enjoy eating dinner. I'd look forward to it, but I wouldn't sleep as well. I'd get in the morning, I'd have like a food hangover, which I didn't realise was a food hangover at the time. But now I don't do that anymore. I realise how much better I feel when I wake up in the morning. Because when you're sleeping at night, your body has a lot of work it needs to do, housekeeping and recovery work while you sleep. When you've got a belly full of food, your body needs to use some energy to digest that food, and it takes energy away from the energy it needs to do housekeeping while you sleep. So I found that by fasting and also by eating earlier in the day. So when I eat my meal now, I eat it usually between 11 and 1 in the afternoon, in the morning or afternoon, and then I fast. And then by the time I go to bed, I'm empty. I fast the next day, so when I go to bed, I'm empty, and my sleep improves a lot. The only time my sleep isn't as good, and this is what I've noticed as I've got leaner and I've lost weight, is as I start to do longer fasts, after a couple of days, sleeping becomes more difficult because I'm sort of too lean now to be able to do these longer fasts. But doing 48-hour fasts works really, really well for me. It's really convenient. I love how I feel on it. So yeah, I'll leave it there for now in this video. As I said, I'll make another video where I'll go into some more detail about what's actually happening with fasting. But if it's something you've never done before, you can start firstly by reducing your meal frequency. So if you're used to eating 3 or 4 meals a day, reduce it down to 2 meals a day, then reduce that down to 1 meal a day. And once you're doing 1 meal a day, going from 1 meal a day to then fasting for 48, 72 hours isn't that difficult, because all you're doing is you're just skipping 1 meal. When you're eating 4 meals a day and then trying to go from 4 meals a day to doing longer fasts, it's more difficult because your body is expecting food 4 times a day. But once you get used to, your body gets used to expecting food once a day, then going from that to longer fasts is quite easy. So I will leave it there for now, and I will see you in the next video.